Hi, this is Izabel Florence, and you are listening to YouRLight podcast, a safe space where we talk about mental health and well-being.
Hello, my lovely light being. Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about the effects of alcohol in our biology. I want to start by saying that this is just information that I find useful for anyone, and I am not here to judge anyone's lifestyle or judge anyone's decision to drink. I'm not telling anyone to stop drinking. I just want everyone to have the awareness of the effect of alcohol, because I am very aware that this is not talked about enough, I believe anyway. And I am honestly very surprised after this research, because for a very long time I thought of alcohol as this thing that, yes, can be a little bit harmful, but I didn't understand the extent of it. So this is really interesting. We all know the effects of alcohol for someone who is a very heavy drinker, for someone who struggles with alcoholism, and for anyone that binge drinks a lot. Today I want to talk about people that have a glass of wine when they arrive from work, or they go out on a Friday and a Saturday and they will have a few drinks when they go out. Because I was this person and I didn't understand how much alcohol was affecting my health and my biology until I did this research and until I stopped drinking. So I believe we are all aware of the neurodegeneration that happens when you drink 12 to 24 drinks a week, right? Or more, as I said before, if you're a heavy drinker. But studies now have shown that people who have on average of a week 1 to 2 drinks a day can suffer loss of neurons in the neocortex and in other regions of the brain. So if you think of 1 to 2 drinks a day, even if you're not someone who is drinking 1 drink a day, maybe you go out on a Friday night and you have 3 drinks, and then on Saturday you go out and you have 5 drinks. That's already enough to cause damage to your brain. So there's a few different types of alcohol. Ethanol is the alcohol that we consume because it's the only one that we can. And when you ingest it, it has to be converted into something else for it to be processed because it is toxic. So basically, when you ingest ethanol, it is converted into acetaldehyde. And acetaldehyde is basically poison. It will kill your cells. It kills and damages cells in a way that it doesn't choose a specific type of cell. Then acetaldehyde is processed and converted into acetate. If your body can't make this conversion from ethanol to acetaldehyde to acetate fast enough, acetaldehyde will build up in your body and cause more damage. Alcohol is water and fat soluble, which means that it passes on to all cells of your body. So we have learned that it is toxic, that it produces substantial stress onto your body and your cells. And this isn't when you're drinking copious amounts of alcohol every day. Even if you have a drink every night, or if you go for a heavy one on a Saturday, or you have 3 drinks on a Friday, 4 drinks on a Saturday, or 3 drinks on a Friday, 2 drinks on a Saturday, 2 drinks on a Sunday. This is a small amount of alcohol when you compare it to how much people in this society are drinking nowadays. Another thing about alcohol is that it is an empty calorie, so there's no nutrients in the alcohol. You are not nourishing your body. If you don't enjoy the taste of the alcohol, you're probably drinking just to get drunk. And what is it that you're doing to yourself by becoming drunk? You are consuming a toxic substance. And the feeling of you being drunk is your body trying to deal with this toxic substance. Alcohol also really affects areas of the brain that are responsible for thinking, behavior, and memory. There is a suppression in the activity of neurons in your prefrontal cortex. This is the area that is involved in dealing with impulsive behaviors and suppressing them. This means that when you consume alcohol, you lose your inhibitions. You don't really think about what you're going to say or what you're going to do. You don't think of the consequences. It's impulsive behavior, and that can be very dangerous. And if you drink heavily, studies show that this area in your brain that controls how impulsive you are is affected even when you're not drunk. So why does it feel so good to get drunk? When we drink alcohol, it affects the neurons in your brain that control the release of serotonin. So the more you start drinking, the more serotonin is released, and then it gets to a point where it stops releasing that much. And that's why you go for a second drink, a third drink, a fourth drink, because you want to keep feeling as good as you felt before, releasing the serotonin, which is the feel-good chemical. I have an episode all about serotonin, and it's a fascinating episode if you want to go and check it out. Think to yourself, why do you drink? What is it that you are seeking? Could you possibly find it somewhere else? Now let's talk about stress. When we drink alcohol, it affects the way that the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and adrenal gland communicate with each other. People who drink about 7 drinks a week experience increased cortisol release from their adrenal glands, even when they're not drinking. So as a result of drinking alcohol, you will feel more stressed, more anxious when you're not drinking. So what is happening is that when we drink, it impacts the process of the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, which is responsible for regulating stress response. Alcohol consumption can lead to changes in the cortisol levels and affect how the body handles stress, even when alcohol is not being consumed. So this has a massive implication on our mental health. It has a huge influence on our well-being. And if you are not aware of this influence, you might think that this stress, this anxiety is coming from something else. Maybe that you are a stressful, anxious person when you're not even considering how much you're drinking every week. So yes, when you drink, you will feel relaxed, but after, you will feel more stressed in your life, and that's a fact. We have now learned that stress is deadly. It kills bacteria in our gut as well, which is another thing that I'm going to go into. Not only can the bacteria in your gut die because of the stress caused by the alcohol, but by ingesting alcohol, you are also inducing a disruption in the gut microbiome. Alcohol kills bacteria. You know this because if you want to sterilize anything, you pour alcohol in it. And it doesn't choose bad or good bacteria. You've got good and bad bacteria in your gut. They will both be killed by the alcohol that you consume. As a consequence of disrupting your gut microbiome, your gut lining will be affected, and you can develop leaky gut as a result, meaning that bad bacteria that is in your gut can pass through the lining of the gut and into your bloodstream. What is the result of all this? Inflammation. And inflammation is the leading cause of so many diseases that are killing people every day. It's also been shown that the more you drink, the more your body will crave the alcohol. So it will cause inflammation and it will desire more alcohol, which will therefore lead to more inflammation. So alcohol is very bad for your gut, and your gut is crucial for your well-being and your immune system. If you want to know how to reduce inflammation in your gut and improve your microbiome, go into my episodes. I have an episode just on this. Alcohol is also a diuretic, so it will leave you dehydrated. Dehydration is really bad for your health. Alcohol will disrupt your sleep quality. You will fall asleep faster, but studies have shown that the quality of your sleep will suffer. Drinking before bed increases alpha wave patterns, which basically means that you're not fully falling asleep. Your brain is almost still awake. So after all of this information, it's very clear to me why I feel so much better once I stopped drinking. I'm not telling anyone to stop drinking forever, but I think it's important to know the consequences. It's important to do our research. Awareness is always a very important step in self-improvement, self-reflection, and I wanted to bring you all this information so that you can look at it and make an informed decision. It turns out alcohol is really bad for your body and for your mind, for your brain. So maybe next time you go to drink, just be aware. Be aware of everything that it's doing for you and be aware of its effects on your body and your mind. And if you are able to make a choice to not drink, maybe do so. It's like a roller coaster. When you drink, you reach a peak after maybe the second drink of very good feelings. And I've explained to you why these feelings are there, because of release of hormones and changes in the body. After those 2-3 drinks, it's just downhill. And the next day, the day after, you're not going to feel good. And even if you're not aware of its influences in your body, it will have really bad consequences. So I would rather not hit that peak, stay a little bit lower than that, not have the release of serotonin, but also feel great the next day. Maybe feel some serotonin from my day-to-day life rather than from ingesting toxic substances. I'm pretty mind blown by all this information, and I'm upset that we're not told all of this, that it has become so normalized to start drinking when you're 18. Well, I started drinking when I was 14 and I had no idea of these effects. So I think if you are able to share this information, please do so, because we all deserve to know. We all deserve to have the option to take care of ourselves when we know we can. You deserve that. Your friends deserve that. Your family, everyone around you deserves to have the option to be kind to themselves. But if you're not aware that you're doing harm, then that's not even an option. And this is why I bring you this information. I know it was a word-heavy episode. If you have any questions, just message me on Instagram. I always reply to everyone that messages me. I love when people message me. I hope you have a lovely week. And if you drink, have a think. Why are you drinking? What are you looking for? Maybe because of social pressures? Maybe because you want to escape your problems? Perhaps because you're bored? Just bring some awareness to this choice that you make. I love you very much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening. All the links are written down on the show notes, as well as resources for anyone struggling with their mental health. Don't forget to subscribe so you're notified when we release new episodes. Also, feel free to share our podcast with your friends and family. And if you'd like to get involved, explore our content, or support our work, visit our website www.yourlight.earth. That's yourlight.earth. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at u.r.light. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.